Yeah. Hi, everybody. So, hope you're enjoying DebConf. So this next talk will be given by Praveen. Praveen, who's a Debian developer, he maintains more than 900 packages. A lot of them that move very fast in ecosystems like JavaScript, for example. So consequently, the next talk will be named Fast Track Repository for Delivering Fast-Paced Projects. Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here for DebConf and meeting all of you. This is my first DebConf, and today I'll be talking about the Fast Track project. So Fast Track is fasttrack.debian.net. Okay, so before I explain what Fast Track is, maybe I'll just explain why we started this project, why it was necessary. So the Debian stable release cycle, like usually, it used to be like 2 years of security support, and now with the long-term support, we give like 5 years of security support for Debian stable release. So any package that is part of the Debian stable release, they will continue to receive security updates. And when it comes to GitLab, usually they give only security supports up to like 3 months. And there are no long-term support releases. So at least once in 3 months, you have to update to the next upstream version if you want to receive the security support. And then every month, they release the security versions, the patches, CVE fixes. And GitLab was in stable once, but then every month, so many security updates, and we couldn't catch up with backporting all the CVEs, so eventually the package was removed from stable. So we tried whether we could have GitLab in backports, but then the requirement for the package to be in backports is that it should be in testing. Then only you can have that package in backports. This is so that when the next stable release comes, you should be able to update your backports version to the next stable version. And like the package, if the package needs to be in testing, we should be able to support it for the entire stable life cycle. If we already know that we can't really support it for the entire stable release cycle, then it doesn't make sense to be in testing. So if it's not in testing, then it can be in backports as well. So currently, GitLab is not in testing, not in backports. It's only in unstable, and most of the times in experimental, because some dependencies it needs, only the newer versions are available in experimental. For example, gRPC and protobuf, they're currently only in experimental, the versions that we need. So it's only available in experimental. And so we started this project called Fast Track because we wanted to have the GitLab package available for Debian users, but then it couldn't go to the official repos. So the Fast Track is currently unofficial. Maybe if a lot of people find it useful and interesting, it could become official someday. So Fast Track is technically the same thing as backports. We build the package on the stable version, all the dependencies rebuilt so that it works on the stable version. The difference is mainly in policy, where we also allow packages from unstable or experimental or sometimes even from new, because within 3 months, like the new dependency, it might not clear new, but then we can't wait because a security update is also tied to an upstream version. So sometimes we also have packages currently new in Fast Track. So the packages currently in Fast Track are like GitLab, That's how it was started. And then VirtualBox is also available from Fast Track. I think they also don't get the upstream long-term support version, so they can't really have it in stable or backport. So VirtualBox is available from Fast Track. And in between, for some time, Metrics was also available from Fast Track. But then after the Bullseye release, they think it can be in the next table, so it went back to backports. So within the Fast Track itself, we have two different sections or suites. We call it Bullseye Fast Track, usually for packages that can never enter backports because they are released very fast. And then we also have a section where, it's Bullseye Fast Backport Staging, where it qualifies for backports, but then maybe only packages in Fast Track would ever need them, or or maybe it's not yet in testing, but we want it fast enough, and or it's taken experimental due to freeze or something. So in those cases, we create a separate section that maybe sometimes it can go to the official backports, and maybe we'll remove it from this suite. And then we also keep Ruby versions, newer versions of Ruby in Fast Track, which is required for GitLab, because the Ruby maintainers don't want to have another like backports version supported for a long time. So to install a package from Fast Track, you just add the repository to sources.list, and then you install the keyring. And then, if you want to install foo, then say apt install foo/bullseye fast track, similar to how you would install backports. Because the pin priority is set to 100, so it wouldn't be installed by default unless you specifically choose the version from Fast Track. And then for GitLab, we had, if we had to manually specify all the dependencies in command line, this would be like, so many. So finally we figured out, create a pin priority file where each dependency, this comes from backports, this comes from Fast Track, this comes from backport staging. So all of this is given in a apt pin preferences file, and then you just install the GitLab apt pin preferences package, and then after that, apt install GitLab would take all the correct dependencies. I think apt should have this feature by default, but it doesn't have. It's something similar to how when you build a package for backports, there is a build dependency resolver aptitude or ASP code, then it would pick a package from backports or maybe also building for experimental only when it is necessary. So similarly, I think apt should get a feature so that these kind of things can be done directly with apt. And building for Fast Track is similar to how you build a backports package. You would just add additional repo for Fast Track and then the key. And you can see how to build all the instructions on the Fast Track wiki page. Maybe potential candidates, more packages that could be in Fast Track if people are interested. The packages that are currently not in testing because it cannot be supported for 2 years. I think Nextcloud was removed from stable, so if somebody is interested, you can maintain maybe Nextcloud in Fast Track. Also, there may be many other, I think, web applications or maybe Bitcoin wallets and things like that, which are currently not in stable. They could potentially be in the Fast Track. Yeah, I think that would be all. And The hosting is sponsored by Infomaniac, thanks to Sigo. And yeah, that's the presentation. If you have any questions, if you want to contribute, you're welcome.
Any questions in the audience? Yes.
I noticed you mentioned Firefox on your last slide. Yes, I noticed you mentioned Firefox on your last slide. Have you discussed Fast Track with the Firefox maintainer, or is this more of an idea of a good app for that?
I haven't discussed, but then it's possible. Like it can be in stable, but then it could be in Fast Track. So if somebody is interested, they can have. Because only Firefox ESR is in stable, so the other versions could be.
If not, well, thanks a lot, Praveen. It was very nice, and thank you again for all the work you do in Debian. I know a lot of packages that you maintain and that I use, and I'm glad I don't have to touch. Everybody, let's give a
Thank you.
warm hand.